welcome to my first Flosstube video. Finally, it is happening. It is happening. So, introductions first. My name is Zakiya. I am a student at the University of Alabama, so I live in Alabama. I'm an accounting major, Spanish minor, 21. I turned 22 in less than a month. Woohoo. Yeah. Today's October 29th, 2018. It's a Monday, the perfect day to film a Flosstube. Let's start this week off correctly. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in so that I don't like freak out and stumble over my words like I do in all my knitting videos. Yeah, so if you're coming over here, it's on the same channel. So if you're watching from the knitting podcast, thank you for coming over. It's finally happening. I'm finally filming this video, guys. So yay, Flosstube is officially going to be a thing for me. If you're new whatsoever, if you don't watch the knitting podcast, if you're only here for Flosstube whatsoever, if you're new at all, thank you for coming over here. Welcome. I can't really tell you how this is gonna go because it's Flosstube, but we'll see. I am ready to have some fun with this. So, a little bit of background. Like I said, I'm just gonna jump right in to keep my nerves from going crazy, so bear with me. Yeah, so a little background. I am multi-craftual to not necessarily the extreme, but pretty close in my opinion. I started crocheting and knitting when I was in high school, and that grew to great lengths. If you could see my apartment right now, there's yarn everywhere. So I'm an avid knitter, and then I started spinning, and then I learned to cross stitch back in May. So it has not even been half a year yet. No, that'll be November, at the end of November. So I'm still pretty new to this. I have literally just dove in head first. I've been enabled because I'm really gullible when it, at least on the enabling side, right? Really gullible. So I'm gonna go through all of my FOs today. I don't have any FFOs because I just haven't gotten around to fully finishing anything. Which if you are not a part of the cross stitch community and you don't know what FFO stands for, fully finished object. So like when you frame it, or if you make it into a pillow, whatever you're gonna do to like completely finish that piece, that is FFOing it. FOs, whips, same thing. If you know those, you're golden. By which I mean finished objects and works in progress. So, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say on the intro part. Let's jump into some finished objects. So, like I said, I just started cross-stitching in May of this year, so I think I counted, and I think I have 11 finishes so far, and that's pretty great. I'm feeling pretty good about that number. So I'm gonna go in the order that I finished them because that's the way that I wrote them down. So yeah, so first off, this is the Tiny Summer Sale, which was done by Armada Designs. I can't remember her real name right now. But this was done by Armada Designs, and I love this. She has since done, she did one for fall, and I think the one for Halloween is currently happening. I can't remember. I think it's still, no, I think it's still happening. I think it's supposed to end on Halloween, maybe. So I'm gonna catch up on those. I know I'm doing fall. I don't know if I'm gonna do the Halloween one because I'm not that big into Halloween. But yeah, so here's the Tiny Summer Sale. I loved this. I didn't start until like day 6, but it was really quick to catch up. You just get tiny pieces of the pattern each day, so it makes it a lot easier to stitch. So this is on 16 count Ada, just got it from Hobby Lobby. I used DMC So, okay, let me pause. I did want to say that. So, my plan for this, I know, well, I don't know a lot if a lot of people do this, but I know some people like Michelle Bindi Stitchy, they have like blogs where they do their show notes for their floss tubes. I am kind of gonna do that. Hopefully, I won't put this video up without getting like my blog kind of ready in the way that I want it to look. I'm gonna work on that while I edit this video. So look for a link to that below in the description box. And there will be like kind of a welcome post because it's gonna be a little bit different. I think, at least I haven't seen anybody do it the way that I'm gonna set it up. So it'll explain everything, but just know that that's coming, so you guys will have a place to look at everything I talk about. Um, and I say that because this project was pretty heavy on the color conversions for me. And she tells you when you get the pattern in the notes and everything, like don't stress about having the exact colors, like just stitch along, use stuff from stash. So that's what I did. So those color conversions will be on the blog. I'm planning to have each finish have its own post, kind of like, hey, I finished something, let's celebrate with a new post. So the color conversions will be on there. But I love this. Um, I'm really excited to do the fall one because it looks really cute. So my next finish, and this was actually the first project that I ever started in cross stitch. This is Stay Home from the Witchy Stitcher, and she's on Etsy. So it says, "Stay home, it's too peoply out there." And guys, if you're introverted whatsoever, which I'm sure many of you are, because that's the way it seems to be with a lot of crafters, you feel this and you understand. um, and judging by the amount of likes that this one always got on my Instagram, I think you guys get it. So yeah, I loved stitching this. I don't know why I'm doing. I wanted it on this side for a reason. Um, yeah, but I loved stitching this. Um, it was pretty simple. Like the letters went really quick. I got most of that done before I got distracted and moved on to another project. Because like I said, this was the first thing I started in cross stitch. It's all in DMC 310. It's on 14, yeah, this is on 14 count Ada. This is the only 14 count I have because I discovered I do not like it. And not just the black. I mean, you can kind of see, or maybe you can't, I don't know, which is good, I guess. You can see it more in person. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like the DMC doesn't always fill in the best, but I just generally don't like 14 count. And you'll see that all of my Ada now I buy 16 count. So, but yeah, I love this. This was my first time doing this black work too, but I really enjoyed it. It made me actually enjoy backstitching. So, looking forward to doing some more backstitching in future projects. Um, Yeah, and then all of these pieces should have my signature on them. I won't always point it out, but it should be on there. So that's that. And like I said, that's from the Witchy Stitcher on Etsy. I love her aesthetic so much. Like cannot explain to you. I just love it. I just bought a crap ton of her patterns too in a sale she had. I think I got 10 of her patterns. So I'm gonna be stitching a lot from her. So this next one, I mean, I don't need a picture because it's done, but this next one is a kit that I got from Joann's. I bought it the same time that I bought the stuff for Stay Home. I figured, hey, I'm learning, might as well have a kit. Plus, you will quickly learn. If you're new to the floss tube, new to my channel, period, and you don't know, I am obsessed with butterflies, hence the Ladywing. Yeah, butterflies. Um, so as soon as I saw this, I was like, whether I stitch it or not, I must have it. But I did stitch it, and it was super quick. So this was a full kit. I don't remember who put the kit out or anything. Like I said, it's just one of the ones that they had hanging up at Joann's. And this is a kitchen towel. So here's the rest of the towel. And then it just has the little strip of Ada there, or what looks like Ada. So, um, yeah. So here it is. This was super quick to stitch. I think it took me 3 days total, 3 stitching days total. But the third day, I only had a little bit left. And this one also, you can kind of see you can see it. There's back stitching on the butterfly. This project also made me realize how much I love back stitching. Like, I didn't think that I was gonna like it. I shied away from patterns a lot of the time if they had back stitching, but I love it. So yeah, just a super quick stitch, cute little butterflies. Yeah, not much to say about this one. And it was a kit, so all the flosses came with it. Excuse the crinkling. I have all of my cross stitch. You guys want to see this? Because it's really funny. All of my cross stitch stuff is in a Hobby Lobby bag that sits over here because one, I need to organize my IKEA shelves with all my knitting stuff. I need to buy another IKEA shelf for the living room because the crafty corner has like taken over this whole wall. But yeah, that is my cross stitch organization right now. And I mean, it is organized. There's like hoops and other stuff in the middle, and then it's like all my patterns and like fabrics, etc. And then all my whips are in Ziploc bags on the other side. It works. It's a little jank, but it works. So yeah, butterfly towel. That's that. Yeah, flosses came with it. It was pretty chill. They're basic colors. It was like dark green, light green, blue, light blue. It was pretty simple. So next was The Book Was Better. And this is a pattern from Plastic Little Covers. I always want to say Pretty Little Covers, and I don't know why. But her shop name is Plastic Little Covers. She's also on Etsy. And background on this, before crafting was my craft, I was an avid reader. Everybody in school, like, it was nothing if you saw me walking down the hallway with a book, reading while I was walking. It was great. I missed that. But yeah, so this is gonna go above or on my bookshelf that I have. I have 3 of them, but yeah. Anyway, it's gonna go somewhere near my books because book lover. This I didn't change too much. I'm trying to remember. I think there were 2 different colors in these flowers. There was like a brightish pinkish red type of color that I didn't like, so I just did it all in this red. And then one of these leaves up top, the little accent stuff, there like was one green leaf that wasn't there. And it's charted that way, like it's not a mistake, it was charted that way, but I didn't like it. So I put it in there because it just bothered me once I noticed it. But yeah, quick stitch. There might have been some color conversions on this too. So this is also 16 count Ada. Yeah, so this was also a really quick stitch because so much of it is the colors just like symmetrically the same. So this I definitely color completed. It was super quick, but I love it. So Plastic Little Covers, also a shop that I love. Next is, I call this Summer Tree just so that I know it's the tree patterns, but the actual pattern name is just Summer. And this is from Diana Shop Ukraine on Etsy. And hopefully all of this stuff will be popping up across the bottom of the screen so that you guys can see it. Yeah, so that'll be there. And then, like I said, you can also go to the blog and hopefully I'll have links or something. But yeah, so there's the summer tree. This is a full coverage piece. And I mean, it's small. It's only 80 by 70, but it is full coverage, and all four of them are. So I did stitch this entire background. She actually has so I have all four season trees. She has a sampler where you stitch them all vertically, but I chose to get the individual patterns because I really liked the colored background. And I don't mind stitching that because that just means I get to zone out and just stitch one color. So I love this so much. Love it. Yeah, so Summer Tree, Diana Shop Ukraine on Etsy. This, again, 16 count Aida. All of my projects have DMC. I've not gotten into the fancy floss thing yet. Yeah, so everything is DMC if I don't say that. But these are all the call for colors. I didn't convert anything in this one. And my little signature, I love this. I did it in a different color down here. So there is that. I really need to get back to those because those are fun patterns. They're just super cute with the background colors, plus the background color for autumn I absolutely love. So this next project, and again, like I said, this is in the order that I finished my projects, not necessarily, definitely not in the order that I started them. So this was actually my second project ever that I started. And this is another one from Plastic Little Covers. Though she be but little, she is fierce. And this quote is like super big for me and my mom. No pun intended, because we're tiny people. I'm only 4'11", so yeah, story of my life. And my mom's a few inches taller than me, so this is our thing. And actually, that I can't. This little sign right here that hangs on my bedroom door says the same thing. So yeah, and I have a bracelet somewhere. That's how we actually found it at first. We found these cute bracelets somewhere at some store, and it had the quote on there. And we fell in love with it. It kind of became our thing. So yeah, so this one's for me. And then eventually, I need to actually remind my mom of this. She wants me to stitch her one, but she wants to do a color conversion because she doesn't like all the pinks. Which I understand, but I like the pinks. We're not big on the color pink, but I like this because it makes it just more like girl power, feminism to me. So I left. Plus, I wasn't at a stage yet. Like I said, this was my second project, so I wasn't at a point yet where I wanted to do color conversions. But I really like it. I like the pink. I'm glad I kept it. So, speaking of colors, the biggest change that I made was this background that you see. So let me hold it a little closer. You can see that like there's an outline in this bright pink for these boxes with the words, like the banner and everything. It's outlined in that light pink, and then it's filled in with another color. So this main box here, and then the rest of these boxes were supposed to be filled in with 5200, but on the like on the pattern, like when I was looking at it or something, and not like the symbol, but like just looking overall, because she has it where it's on one page, it looked more like a gray, and I really liked that. So she had these two little like banner parts in 762, which is a very pearl, like a light pearly gray. It's really pretty. And I liked that color. So I did not use 5200 at all in this. I stitched all of that background in 762 and I love it. It looks kind of weird on screen, I feel like. I don't know if that is really doing it justice, but I love it. In person, it's amazing. Um, so note to self, future Zakiya, when I'm editing, I will pop any picture that I took of this when I finished it, because I think it'll show it a lot better. Because these words are washing out a little bit. They're more of a, they're a little bit darker. They're just not showing up that well. Oh, and then the other thing that happened with this, so I started this project in the center, right here in this purple section, and I was flipping back and forth between the color key chart and the pattern. So I misread which purple it was, because there's this light purple and then there's this darker purple, which is the main one that you see. I accidentally switched that. I'm glad I did though, because that light purple I think would have made it too pastel, and I probably would have thought it looked too babyish, like for my taste. So I'm glad that that switch actually happened, because I do like the darker purple. Yeah, so that's that. This, again, 16 count Ada. I love this. I just love it. So that's that. Again, plastic little covers. Let's see. Okay. And then the next two are also on this piece with Stay Home. So I'll show you these one at a time. So the first one, and these are both by Hindsight. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but that's how it's spelled. Hinzeit. And like I said, all of that will be on the screen too. So these were just cute little quick stitches that I found on 123 Stitch, the site that I need to stay off of. So of course I got one for Love to Stitch, because that's my new obsession. And then I had to get one for Love to Knit also, because that's where my crafty like kind of really took off. So these were super quick. So again, this is a 14 count Ada. These were super quick. 3 of the colors were the same in them, so I color completed like both of them. Like I did the gray outline, and then I did the gray outline, and then I did the black, and then I did the black, and then they both have white in this number 2 here. And then I finished them off separately. So here's a close-up of this one. And these, again, there are color conversions out the wazoo. I think the only color that I used that they said to use was 310 maybe. Everything else I changed, but that's okay. I love it. So, and then the charms came with the pattern also. So I did buy them, but they came with the pattern. So Love to Stitch and Love to Knit. And there's the little yarn ball with the needles going through it. I love it. Yeah. And okay, yeah, you can see that better now. There's a light blue. So you could kind of see like the strands of the yarn ball. There's a lighter blue going through there. You can see that better now. But yeah, I love these so much. I think I'm going to put these on top of my Crafty shelves. So, you know, I'll get around to finishing these things eventually. Okay. Almost done. We're moving at a good pace here. So this next one I started for football season. Like I said, I'm a student at the University of Alabama. I was raised in Tennessee, but I moved down here for school, so I'm not born and raised from Alabama. But my mom went to Alabama. Excuse me. my mom went to Alabama, which is, you know, how I found out about them, how I fell in love. We are big Bama people. So a Facebook group member, I don't remember what group, but she designed this pattern, posted about it, and then, you know, a lot of us were like, hey, where can we get this? Could you send it to us, etc. And she kindly sent it to everybody that asked for it, which was really generous of her. So yeah, I just thank you. I don't know if she'll be watching this, and I did go back and like show her my finished piece when I finished it, but I love this pattern. So let me see if I can. There we go. Maybe that'll work a little better. So it says all summer long she was a sweet Southern lady, and then football season started. um, yeah. And this actually immediately made me think of my mom. Funny enough, she declined it and said she didn't want one. I was gonna stitch two. She said she didn't want one, so this is mine. Granted, if she says she wants one later, I'll just go back and stitch it again because I loved this pattern. Um, this was also pretty quick. Like once I like really sat down, like when I put in the time for it and like you know sat down for hours, that type of thing. There was a lot of progress. It was super quick, especially because this motif is the same the whole border. So once you memorize the little 8 stitch, you know, pattern, it's pretty quick. Um, yeah. So this is on. This wasn't the first project that I started on linen. You guys aren't going to see that today because I'm not going to show you all of my whips. Um, so this wasn't the first project that I started on linen, but it's the first project that was finished on linen. So this is white. Yeah, this is just white 32 count Belfast linen from Zweigart. I got it off 123 Stitch. That's where I order my fabrics from. And yeah, I stitched this with, there are only 2 colors. I stitched it with the 2 called for colors. So this is 310 and then this is 498 for the red. And I love these little elephants. And they have their little backstitched ears. I love it. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to stitch. And then this was the first time that I got to do my signature on linen. I always found it a little fiddly on Ada because my last name starts with an R. It's just a little difficult. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. I'll probably have to pop in a picture here, so probably wasting my time. But you can kind of see it. I love, anyway, the whole point of that was I love the way that this signature looks on linen. It makes it a lot easier to do the R because I really wanted it to be a capital R anyway. It makes it easier when I can stitch 1/1. So that was that project. Like I said, from a lovely Facebook group member. I love this stitch. So that's that. And then now we're getting into more recent stuff, as in like these past couple weeks. So if you follow me on Instagram and see my stuff there, you've definitely seen all of these, but you will have seen these recently. So this is from the Witchy Stitcher. That took me way too long. So when I bought Stay Home, that was the first pattern that, the first cross stitch pattern I ever bought. And when I bought that, I also saw this one, so I bought it at the same time. So like I said, this is the Witchy Stitcher. She's on Etsy. Not sure how well those reds are going to show up because I know it's blowing out. So I'll hold it closer in a second so you guys can see some details. But that's what the reds actually look like. That's more true to color. That's what the reds really look like in real life. But up close, so you can kind of see it. It says Creature of the Night. If you haven't freaked out already or, gotten the reference, this is Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's the reference there. And this was also a super quick stitch. So I did this for Dark October stitching. And then because Halloween this year is on a Wednesday, I thought that would be fun if I did, because I only had 2 Halloween projects that I wanted to get done during the month. So I thought that that would be fun if I did them on Wednesday only for my Halloween stitching, so that I could participate in the Witchy Wednesday hashtag that Priscilla and Chelsea do. So I kind of got participation in 2 little sows that way. But yeah, this was super quick to stitch. The only thing, I used the call for colors. There are only 5. White, black, and then the 3 reds. And the only thing that I changed, some of these stars have back stitching over them to make them look like, the like full star or whatever. I didn't feel like doing that. I didn't feel like fussing around with the back stitching and trying to tack it down, and just didn't care. I really like this and the way it looks. I think if I'd tried to do the back stitching, it would have just looked real jank. So I left it while it still looked really good, and I love it. I'm so happy about this because this is true. So partially got this because I love, 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 love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So much so that my boyfriend has been informed that he will be forced to watch it on Halloween. He doesn't have a choice. So that's what we're doing Wednesday. We're gonna watch Rocky Horror. And on that note, then we might watch Krampus. Has anyone ever seen Krampus? I love that movie. I saw it when it came out. My brother and I went to see it. Love that movie. Like, I know it's a Christmas movie, but I think we're gonna watch it on Halloween because I really love that movie, and I just want an excuse to watch it. Plus, I'm not big into like Christmas movies during Christmas time, so this is a good time to watch it. But anyway, Creature of the Night, Witchy Stitcher on Etsy. I love it, just love it. And she has another pattern in her shop too. Another one that's Rocky Horror. It has the lips up here. I think the other one is I See You Shivering in Tissa, and then like ... I can't remember. Anyway, it's in her shop. But yeah, I love this. So this is on 16 count Black Ada. Like I said, called for DMC. Not much to say about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. I have been feeling like every time I look at this, I kind of want to put another star like over here somewhere. Like maybe not, in line with this one over here, but I just feel like it needs another one. It's kind of bothering me. But I probably won't go back and add anything. It just bothers me every once in a while. So that's that. Super excited to have this done. So like I said, that was the first project that I wanted to get done for my Halloween stitching for this year. Because I'm not big. I'm not into Halloween, period. The only thing that I get out of Halloween is the fact that paranormal creatures are like encouraged. Because I love paranormal, supernatural stuff. That was the book genre that I was really into. I love those types of movies, so that's pretty much the only thing I get out of Halloween. And Reese's. That's about it. Speaking of, so last year, this is a total tangent, but it's kind of funny. We don't trick or treat. We never did when we were growing up. At least like ages that I remember. My mom took us to some, when we were really little. But we don't celebrate Halloween, so we never did the trick or treating thing. Like, we weren't allowed to eat a lot of candy, and we like didn't grow up on a lot of candy, so we're not the biggest sweet tooths when it comes to that. I am, but it's things like cake, cupcakes, the bread, right? Like the candy does not necessarily appeal to me all the time. But I love Reese's, and my boyfriend loves Reese's. So literally, last year for Halloween, we went to Walmart at some point before Halloween, and I was like, hey, let's grab this bag of mini, this like big bag of like the small Reese's, and I was like, I mean, we live in an apartment complex, so there's not like kids coming up to our door like trick or treating or anything. Um, so I wasn't, and if there were, I wasn't gonna sit the bull out there anyway. Was not giving the neighborhood candy. So I literally like poured the Reese's in there and we kept them on the coffee table. Like instead of the peppermints, it was the Reese's. And then they stayed there. I don't think we finished them off until like January or February. It was a ridiculously long time. But I kind of want to go get another bag of Reese's now. Like, I feel like that should be a tradition that I do. Like, just get a bag of Reese's, and that's my Halloween celebration. But also that encourages, because when I eat the like the little mini ones, I eat like 5 or 6 straight. And then I'm like, oh wait, that's a lot of chocolate. I should stop. Yeah. Now I'm thinking I'm not gonna buy that Reese's. Anyway. So all of that to say, here is my second piece that I did for Halloween. This is Lizzy Kate's I Can Drive a Stick. I would show you the little like cover picture on the pattern, because this was it's like a little snippet, but I don't know where it is right now. I lost it promptly after I finished, which was not helpful. But yeah, it's done. This took 2 days to stitch, so it actually had 3 stitching days total, if we're being true and honest, because I had so I finished all of this in 2 days, except for literally 57 stitches. I counted, yeah, I did. I had this last little picket on the fence, and I had these two motifs. I could have finished that on the second day, but it's fine. I just tell people it took me 2 days. That third day didn't happen. Those 57 stitches happened on the other 2 days. It doesn't matter. So, so this is only the second project that I've finished on linen, but as I show you guys more of my whips, hopefully as I work on them, you'll see that linen is pretty much what I stitch on now, almost exclusively, or really it is exclusively, but a lot of I have a couple projects on Ada, but I don't really work on them. So anyway, yeah, so this is all one color, DMC 310. This is, the color is not, the color of this fabric is pretty much the same color as the store. That's showing up more true to color back here. But yeah, I mean, it's comparable to the door. A little darker than the wall. So yeah, all DMC 310. This is 32 count light mocha Belfast linen. I should know that. Light mocha Belfast, 32 count from Zweigart. I stitched 2 over 2. Yeah, so that's that. And it says, why yes, I can drive a stick. Trying to read everything in case you guys can't. But yeah, this is super quick. I love it. So this will get framed, I don't know when. But yeah, this was super quick. It's mostly letters, so I did almost all of the letters in one night actually, which was really awesome. So that is the last finished object that I have. I just finished this last week. I think it was on the 23rd I finished it. So yeah, coincidentally I don't think it was a Wednesday when I finished it. Yeah, so that's all of my FOs. Good, we're only at 40 minutes. We're doing good. Yeah, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So I have all these. I need to get to finishing. I do. Maybe that'll be like my resolution for 2019. I'm just gonna leave all those right there. I don't have the space. Okay, so whips, how we're going to do this, because I'm not going to show you all my whips today. My plan, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, I'm thinking that I'm going to wait until the end of the year to show you all of my whips, because I know a lot of people on Flosstube do whip parades when they do like their year in review. But also just personally, I would like to do like a whip parade at the end of the year so that I can know, like, okay, going into 2019, this is what I have already. And I think that would be a good reminder to do it at the end of the year and go through all of them. So I'm not going to show you all of my whips until then. So, you know, follow me on Instagram if you want to see like some of the stuff that I already have started. I've more than likely posted about them on there. Because some of that stuff, you might not see it until the end of the year if I don't work on it. So I've pulled 3 projects. These are the only 3 that I've really been working on in the last couple weeks. So that's why I pulled those. So let's jump right into them. So the biggest thing that I'm working on, or actually no, lies. Let's start with Stiach, because if you guys have been watching people whatsoever, you know Stiach is happening. So Stiach is a true, as Michelle Bindi Stitchy says, a true mystery stitch along, which it is. Because I mean, from what I've seen so far in the community, I've only been here for a few months, but what I can see, a lot of the mysteries is mysteries are, you know, like they have the picture and it's like blurred out where you can't see what it is, but like you kind of know what it is. Stiach is not like that. You literally get random bits and pieces, people, and I love that. So I'm doing it. This is my first, obviously, because I'm new to cross stitch. This is my first Stiach. So I'm super hyped about this. So this is all I have so far. I have not even finished week 1. But you know, it's okay. I'm gonna catch up eventually. I'm not stressing about it. It just hasn't been calling to me, so I'm leaving it alone so that I don't mess it up. So, like I said, I'm way far behind. I haven't finished week 1. So week 1, we got these 2 like curly Q things, and there are 2 more at the bottom down here. And then we have a 6 and a 9. That's what we're calling them. They're probably gonna end up being letters, but you know, we only get bits and pieces, so we're not sure exactly what they are yet. So there are those 2, and then there's like 2 little motifs here. They look like eyes, the letter I. And then now there's like these little teardrop shapes in between these, and then in between the ones that are at the bottom. And then they have like some design features that come off of them. So I've got a good bit to catch up on. Not a ton, but a good bit. I'll catch up eventually. I'm not stressing. So, the colors I'm using, let me just pull them out. Or actually, the fabric, while I'm remembering to hold this up, you can see it's modeled. So this is a printed fabric because it's blank on the back. And it has the color on this side. So you can see it's a modeled fabric. I bought this for another project that I'll talk about in a minute. This is 32 count Belfast linen iced mocha. I'm pretty sure this is iced mocha. I got it off of 123 Stitch, per usual. So my colors. So they gave us kind of like suggested palettes. But you know, you're totally free to choose whatever palette you want. It's 4 colors, which is super convenient. Like, it's only 4 colors. So let's see if I can get this order right. Okay, so my color A, which is supposed to be the color that like stands out the most, which I like this for. Kind of regretting not doing a variegated, but that's okay. So color A is DMC 915. Again, these are all DMC. So 915 color B is 3840. C is 3839, which is, you know, they're right next to each other, so they're a little bit dark. Yeah, that's better. Light one, dark one. And then I'm not good at this. And then, okay. And then color D is 3807. So that is my palette. And I literally can't do this, guys. I'm just gonna let you guys watch me struggle. I'm gonna keep trying. Yeah, so I like this palette. At first I wasn't gonna do this because it made me think like stereotypical baby colors, pinks and blues. And I didn't like that at first, but when I laid it out at Michael's, I really liked it. And then I did a poll because I pulled 2 of the palettes that I really liked, and I did a poll on Instagram, and you guys chose this palette, so that's what I'm doing it out of. Like I said, it's a mystery. Like, I'm not gonna be super upset about it. You know. Plus, I'm a process crafter. I've known this about myself for a while because I am a process knitter versus a product knitter or crafter. It goes both ways for me. So I'm just enjoying it. You know, when I'm stitching on it, that clearly isn't happening a ton. And so the needle minder that I am using with this one, I want to mention this. The needle minder I'm using is one that I just got. I purchased it from Michelle Bindi Stitchy's Alzheimer's live sale, and it's a sugar skull. And I love sugar skulls. Like I said, I'm a Spanish minor, so I love anything representing Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. Yeah, so I love it. Funny story, because this is truly hilarious. My Alzheimer's stuff has just a generally funny story, and I'm gonna tell you now because it's worth it, and I'm thinking about it now. So on my PayPal account, when I paid Michelle, I didn't think to make sure that it was my apartment's address and not my parents' address, which it doesn't matter. Like, my parents don't go through my mail. Like, it's fine. So I got sent to my parents' house, and let's be real, I order so much stuff that I forget what I order sometimes. And I forgot to keep track of where the package was from Michelle after I paid her and she sent it off. So I get a call from my mom one day, and she's like, hey, you got a package from a Michelle? And I'm like, oh crap, like, that's my live sale stuff. So it's like, okay, cool, like, I'll be home in a few weeks, you'll just have to keep it because otherwise I mean, she could have sent it to me, but I was like, it's not that big a deal, like, just keep it there, I'll get it when I come home. So I get the stuff, everything. Keep in mind, I forgot that the live sale stuff was there even after my mom said the package got there. Like, I got home, she was like, yeah, your mail's here. And then I went to look at my mail, and I was like, oh yeah. Anyway, ridiculous. But yeah, so then, funny story about this needle minder, I didn't realize that it was in the package at first. When I opened it, it was like, I don't know, I guess it was like sticking to a staple, because I got a magazine. I don't know, maybe it was sticking to the staple, like, in the middle of the magazine. That's all I can think of that really happened, because it was, like, perfectly still in that magazine. Which was, I mean, granted, I hadn't, like, flipped through it, but I never even noticed that it was in the folds of the magazine. And I noticed this yesterday when I took the live sale stuff and, like, put it with everything else. And then I messaged Michelle because I was like, hey, this is somebody's needle minder, like, you know, like, is this mine? Like, it was in the magazine folds. Like, I got super hyped because I was like, oh, it's a sugar skull, but then I was like, I don't want to get attached if this is somebody else's stuff, like, if it's in my package accidentally. And then I thought, hey, let's go back and look at that email where she told you everything you bought. No, it was mine. I had completely missed it, and I thought that I had only ordered 4 things when actually there were 5. Um, like, I truly thought that there were only 4 things, so I wasn't even looking for a 5th item. So, note to self, remember what you buy, whether it's for charity or not. So, this little guy is very much appreciated. I was just happy that I didn't have to, like, send it to anybody. Yeah, I love sugar skulls. So, there's that. Part of my, I'm gonna call it retail therapy. I don't like the word haul. Do not like that word. Although it's pretty true in my life. But I don't really like using it. So, retail therapy. Yeah, so Stiach. Let's move on, because that took way too long to talk about. I just talked about that for 10 minutes for no reason. So Stiach is happening. Super behind on it. Next, I'm going to talk about my BAP last. BAP is a big-ass project, if you don't know. Which is also another thing. I'm not sure. There might be some light cursing on this Flosstube. I don't do it on my knitting podcast, but there might be on this Flosstube. Who cares, right? It's my Flosstube. Anyway, so this next project also has the other needle minder that I got from Michelle's live sale. So this is my first ever stitch Rovia pattern. I will pop in a picture here of what it's gonna look like at the end when it's finished, or what the sample picture looks like. Mine will not look like that. So this is Eat, Sleep, Craft, Repeat, and as you can see, I already have almost half of it. So pretty excited. This sleep I worked on this a couple days in September for Surprise Whip September with spinning the wheel. And that's when I did this sleep and the scissors and this bobbin up here. So the last couple days, or yesterday, I worked on this and I started this banner down here. Yeah. And I'm almost done with that, so I'm super excited. So like I said, this is Eat, Sleep, Craft, Repeat from Stitch Rovia. I'm sorry if like me scratching my head just then like sounds really weird on the camera. I don't know if that'll pick up very well. Anyway, yeah, so here's the state of that. This is on 32 count antique white Belfast linen from Zweigart, again, ordered from 123 Stitch. Again, I stitched 2/2. Yeah, I stitched 2/2. This is all the called for DMC except for 2 colors. So hopefully by now I will have put in the cover photo, and it's over there, I'm not gonna get it. So you'll see in the picture that Eat and Repeat are charted to be pinks. Like I said, I'm not big on pink, so when I bought the floss for this, I decided to do a yellow conversion because my favorite color is yellow. And the closer the shade to mustard, the more I love it. So instead, I'm going to use these two. This is going to be kind of weird because they're not next to each other on this project ring. But these are the two I'm going to use. You can tell a little bit. It's supposed to be kind of subtle, but you can tell a little bit on screen. It's not showing up that well. That this is the darker one, this is the lighter one. So the darker one is 972 and the lighter one is 725. And I'm going to change that to yellow because I don't really like the pink. I was thinking about changing it to red to kind of keep that bright contrast. But when I look, hold on, because there are 2 more colors, or 3 more colors that are in here that go with this. So when I look at this color palette, I like the way the yellows look because there was already like these golden browns in here. I love the way the yellows look in there. So I'm not going to change it to red. I really like the way the yellows look. So I'm excited to get to that part because Oh, I love those colors. And I'm really enjoying stitching this. Stitch Rovia is another person whose aesthetic I love. Yeah, so there is that. So hopefully you guys will be seeing some progress on this because I am enjoying working on it. Michelle in her, well, it would have had to be her, had to have been her stitch with me yesterday because it's not Tuesday yet. So, um, anyway, in that episode of her stitch with me, she mentioned, I can't remember who right now, but she mentioned someone talking about having a screaming rotation. Whatever project is just kind of like screaming at them at the time. That's what they work on, and I am feeling that right now. I do have like a whip calendar and everything like set up for my rotation, and I do enjoy doing it. But I think it kind of killed it because I did the rotation for a month, and then I did Surprise Whip September, and I was just kind of dead after that on like the planned whip thing. So I'm doing the screaming rotation right now. Just gonna work on whatever I feel like, because that's a lot better for me at the moment. So last whip um, is my BAP. It is my only BAP. Yep, as in the moment, I'm pretty sure. So again, I will pop in a picture here. This is Hogwarts Castle from I Cross Stitch Pattern, who is on Etsy. Again, it'll be on the bottom of the screen. So I'm gonna take my grime guard off. So I'll show you the grime guard. Pause. This will be a lot easier. Um, so, like I said, avid knitter. I have a sock sack that I bought at a completely different time from a completely different shop. Matter of fact, this one came from Canada. In this Slytherin fabric, you'll learn quickly that I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So I have this project bag in this fabric, right? Then I went searching for a grime guard for this Q-snap, and I searched Harry Potter grime guards. Just happened to see this one, and I was like, oh, that's the same exact fabric. Bye. I love it. So even though it's two different crafts, they're generally not around each other at the same time. I'm feeling matchy-matchy, and I love it. And for the record, for anyone who's asking, no, I'm not a Slytherin. I claim Slytherin. That's a whole other story. I'm not going to go into it. It's not a story, but I'm just not going to explain it. Pottermore-wise, I'm a Ravenclaw. I very rarely claim them. I don't even really claim being a Slitherclaw. I just claim Slytherin. Yeah. And if you come over from the Knitting Podcast, I've explained this to you guys. You know why I'm a Slytherin. Um, so yeah. Anyway, this project, hopefully I will put in a picture by now. I think it was like called Hogwarts Magic Castle or something. The last time that I went back to her shop, it wasn't up there at all. So, like the pattern for you to buy. So it doesn't matter. It's Hogwarts at night. That's all you need to know. Basically, it's Hogwarts at night. It's a BAP. This is my first ever BAP. It's 275 by 275. So not huge, right? Not like Hade huge, but still big. So this is where I am so far. I'll pop in a picture here, maybe if I feel like it. Honestly, not gonna lie to you, I might not do it. But I'll pop in a picture here of what it looked like at the end of page 1 when I finished page 1. It was somewhere within here, somewhere in there. And I'll probably also pop in a picture that I took of this being held in the sunlight better, just so you can really appreciate these blues, because I love them so, so, so much. I just love this. So this is pretty much the only project that I'm working on that's on Ada, that like I'm working on constantly. I have a couple other projects on Ada, but I don't really work on those. Which is what I was saying earlier. Everything else is on linen. But this is on, I didn't really want to do my first full coverage BAP on linen. of any count. So, because I did think about doing 25 count, but I just didn't want to do that because I wouldn't have wanted to do it 2/2, right? I would have done it 1/1, and I didn't want to do that for my first batch because I wasn't sure how I was going to go about working on it and all of that. So, yeah. So anyway, this is on 16 count white Ada. It's just on a 30 by 36 piece, which is way more space than I need. I think this is supposed to come out to 17 by 17 when I'm done. And I'll probably get it professionally framed. But I've still got 34 pages before we can talk about that. So, yeah. So this is where I am right now. I'm just working on page 2. I am a color completer. So that's what I'm doing. I'm color completing by page. As you can see, I'm not gridding. I didn't buy a water-soluble pen. I do have silky thread, but I thought about it and I was like, you know, I'd rather just count. I'm not going to bother gridding because I don't feel like gridding. So I'm not doing it. Yeah. So this is that. Hopefully by now, like I said, I've popped in a picture that I took so that you guys can see the blues a little better because I love this. It's not showing up on screen as well as I would like it to. I'm kind of facing away from my sunlight a little bit, so that's not helpful. But yeah. And then this needle minder. Oh, I need to go back to the other one. I forgot to tell you about the needle minder. So this needle minder I got from Armada Designs. This was the one that you could order to go with her class schedule Sal, which is Harry Potter related, obviously. Accio needle. And I love this. Hold on, let me take the little needles. Take the needles off. Hold it a little closer. You can kind of see like the little thread on there is in the 4 house colors. I love that. But anyway, yeah, it just says Accio needle. You'll see it in a lot of my pictures because, well, not anymore. It's permanently on this project. I have enough needle minders now that I can kind of move other ones because for a while this was my best and favorite needle minder, but now that I've got more, I can leave it on this because obviously it's Harry Potter themed. Castle started, or not Castle started, that doesn't happen until page 3. Getting there. Got my grime guard, my needle minder. I'm super hyped. Now I just need to get a project bag for it. But my cross stitch very rarely leaves my apartment, and when it does, I don't take this unless I'm going to my parents' house because I'll have time to sit down. But other than that, like, I don't take this places, so less chances to get dirty, but I'm also pretty clumsy, so I need a project bag for that. And I wanted to show you guys my organization system. So like I said, 16 count white Ada. I'm using all the called for DMC. There are 47 different colors, but some of them do have multiples. I think it was like 63 skeins or something that I had total. We're gonna have to pause for a second because boyfriend is home for his lunch break. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys this when I come back. Alright, so we're back. It's a whole hour later. But, and I changed pants, but it's fine. I do have on pants though. It doesn't look like it. It's a lot of leg right there. I have on shorts. Anyway, so I was talking to you guys about Hogwarts Castle. So I was gonna show you guys my organization system. Gotta get my head back in gear now. Anyway, so this is what I'm doing for this project. I have all of the flosses in here. Yeah, it's just a box that I got from Michael's one time, or I mean, yeah, one time when I was there. But when I bought, when I went to get my fabric and floss, that's what I'm searching for, guys. Oh my gosh, I can do this. I took an hour off and now I'm lost now. Anyway, so this is what I'm doing. All of the flosses for this one project are in this box, which is really convenient. I don't have like a ton of project rings, which I thought I was gonna do, but I'm glad I didn't do that, because it would have been probably 4 or 5 project rings for this, and there's just no need for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it and try not to toss everything out of it. Yeah, did I mention I'm clumsy? Anyway, so everything starts up here. It goes, here, let's do this. It starts up here and it goes across and then comes back down here. So all of the flosses have been bobbinated, and then these are like the multiples. Some colors needed 2, 3, or 4 total skeins, so the multiples are over here, and more down here because they didn't all fit. And then I keep my scissors in here. And these are just some scissors that I got from Michael's that they have up there. I wanted some nice, fancy looking scissors. And then this. So, if you ever like need like point protectors for scissors, I'm sure that I'm not the first person to do this. And I didn't get this from anybody. It was literally something I thought of while I was there when I bought these scissors because I wanted them, but like I said, super clumsy. Like, me and sharp objects generally do not get along. So I knew that I was going to have something to cover the edge of this. And that's why I hadn't bought the scissors yet, because I couldn't figure out what to get. And I thought about it, like, hello, you're a knitter. Like, use that knowledge. So I went around the corner in Michael's to like the wall in the knitting section by the yarn where they have like all the needles and the crochet hooks and like all the little accessories and stuff. And you can buy, let me grab the little package. You can buy these little needle protectors, point protectors. And they're for your needles. You can see on the package how they fit on the edge of your needle, which I have one right here. And that's literally all they're for. Like, you stick them on the edge of your needle so your stitches don't fall off. So I was like, hey, that would be perfect. So I got a set of those. There are 4 in there. I've already lost one because that's just how my life is. I've only had it for like a week and I lost one already. But yeah, there are 4 in there, so, you know, I just grabbed another one, and I just stick it on here, and it's fine, and that's a point protector. So, yeah, just a little tip. I'm glad that I thought of that while I was there, because I'm not sure I would have come up with anything better. So, just helpful if you guys need, like, quick point protectors. And, I mean, it stays on there pretty good. Yeah, so now my next thing is to get a scissor fob so that they can just be super cute. But yeah, so this is the floss. So as you can see, I bobbinate, which you've already seen because I've held them up. But I bobbinate, and I have the little stickers that DMC makes with the color numbers on there. So all of those are on there. Yeah, I love it. This makes me super happy. The OCD crafty side of me really loves this. It just makes me happy. There's only one color that's not in here right now. It's supposed to go in here. It's 3371, but it's in another project. I only needed 1 skein for Hogwarts, so I'm just going to grab it from that other project whenever I finish it. Or if I get to a point in this where I need it, I'll just pull it. I didn't feel like buying 2 skeins. It wasn't that big a deal. So that's that. That's all I wanted to say about Hogwarts Castle. And that's all of my whips. So now let's get into some, what I call craving it, on my knitting podcast. Okay, sorry, the TV is still on. Okay, so what I call craving it on my knitting podcast, kind of like, some people call them maker plans. They're called plans, generally on Flosstube, just kind of like what's coming up next. Sometimes, a lot of the times, it's, hey, this is what I would love to do next, but a lot of the times they don't happen because I want to do everything. So I will pop in a picture here of Mr. and Mrs. Delicious, which are patterns by Lindy Stitches, and I already own these patterns. So this I was gonna start because Michelle Bindi is doing the turkey sale that was supposed to start in October. That I never started. I was ready to go, I think, like pretty soon thereafter, and I just never started. So I'm gonna start this in November. Because November is my birthday month. My birthday is November 26th, so all the way at the end of the month. But I don't mind. So I'm just gonna have a month of birthday starts. I had them planned out. If you saw on Instagram my story, I had 10 planned because I had 12. Supposedly, I have 12 whips, or did, and then plus 10 would be 22, which is how old I'm turning. Cheesy. Anyway, but that started to stress me out. So now I think I've narrowed it down to 6, but I keep finding patterns that I really want to do, that I really want to start in November. I'm trying not to overwhelm myself. But anyway, on the 1st, which is Thursday, I am planning to start, I'm going to stop folding this fabric up here. I'm going to start Mr. and Mrs. Delicious. Again, patterns by Lindy Stitches. Hopefully I've already put in a picture of that by now. So this fabric, looking at the fabric that she used in the samples, I think it was like a gray or grayish. I can't really remember how I came to this conclusion, but I really wanted to do this pattern on gray. And I am stitching them beak to beak. So I'm just going to do them as one long panel. I'm not stitching them separately just because they're both pretty small. So I'm going to make it a bigger piece and just stitch them together. So this, it's super see-through, but this is 32 count pearl gray from Zweigart, and let's see. I mean, it's a pearl gray, like it's a light gray. There's not really much to see here, but I'm really excited. I love this color. It's a beautiful gray. So I'm really excited to start this. This is the bag that the fabric came in, and I'm just keeping it in here as my project bag. And then I went ahead, there were 4 flosses that I didn't have, that I needed, so I already have those. They've been sitting in here forever. And then when I go to start, probably on Halloween, sometime, I'll go through what other flosses I need and pull those. Or go to Michael's if I need to buy more. I have no idea what colors I need for that. Or where they are, rather. I know I have them, but I don't know what project they're in. That's the problem. So, the other thing I want to talk about for Craving It, I have desperately been wanting to start Quotes to Live By, which is a pattern by Rovia. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you watch Michelle Bindi Stitchy, she just finished hers. So this is the fabric that I'm going to do it on. And I think it'll actually be this, or, it'll be portrait. It'll be this orientation. I don't know yet where I'm going to do the top and the bottom. I'm not really sure. I'll probably just pick it up and decide and go for it. I mean, it's pretty good on the modeling the whole way through. You can kind of see that. So I probably am not going to be super picky. Like, honestly, I'll probably just start up here and make this the top. Yeah, so this is the same fabric that I'm using for Stiach. I got a piece that big enough for quotes, and then I cut off what I needed for quotes, which is this, and that was the extra, is what Stiach is on. So this is 32 count iced coffee linen. And I love it. And again, it's printed because it's blank on the other side. I love it. So I'm really excited about it. I bought the first piece of the pattern that has the border and the title and that first little quote. I bought that yesterday, so that I could go ahead and have it. I'm planning to start quotes on my birthday. That's going to be my birthday start. Um, and I really want to start it before then. Like, I keep wanting to start it before then and just, like, work on the border. But I'm waiting because I'm going to do a color conversion. It has a lot of pinks in there. I think there are, like, 4 or 5 different pinks. And, like, they're used pretty prominently. Again, I'm not a pink person. And that's going to be a really big conversion. Like, I feel like it's going to take me a little bit. I'm really going to have to, like, go to Hobby Lobby, get a color card, sit down in front of the floss, probably for a couple hours, and just figure out my color conversion. Because I'm still newer into cross stitch, so my DMC stash is still building. So, yeah. As much as I want to start it, I want to start it like now. I almost started it yesterday for Sunday high tea, but I was gonna start and I was just gonna work on the border because I just want something simple and like I would still be excited because I'm still starting quotes, but I'm getting that border out of the way too. But I didn't have one of the colors that I needed for the top, so not doing that right now. So that's that. Just a couple things to look forward to. I'm really excited. I do need to go to Hobby Lobby and figure out the color conversion for quotes. But I've got a whole month, so I'm not going to stress about it right now. Okay, and then I put my show notes somewhere. Everything's not in the same spot. Okay, so now we're going to move on to retail therapy, which is what people would refer to as haul. I call it retail therapy. I like that better. So, I mentioned earlier the Sugar Skull needle minder I got from Michelle Bindi Stitchy's Alzheimer's Live sale. So this is the other needle minder that I got. I got 2 needle minders from her. And this is the other one. This is from Sampling of Memories. And it's a little sheepy, or not a little, it's a giant sheepy. I showed this to my boyfriend and he was like, wow, that's a really big sheep. And I'm like, yeah, sheep actually do get that big. Like, anyway, I don't expect him to know that. Like, he's not a knitter. He doesn't spend time looking at cute sheep. Not that I do either, but you guys know what I mean. Anyway, so I had to have this because I'm collecting the needle minders right now, plus it's a sheep, and I'm an avid knitter, so any way that I can combine my 2 favorite crafts, sure. So there's that, and that's on my Eat, Sleep, Craft, Repeat. I forgot to show that. So I got that from Michelle. I got the Sugar Skull needle minder, and then I got 3 patterns, or I got a magazine and 2 patterns, but the magazine I bought literally only for the cover pattern. So this one is Heart in Hand, Wee Fruits. This is the only Heart in Hand pattern I own, so yay. And I'm super excited about this. The only change that I know I'm gonna make is these strawberries. I'm gonna add seeds. They just look really weird to me. Like, this strawberry in here, this corner, has 1 seed, and that just bothers me. So I'm gonna add seeds to those strawberries. So I got that. And then I decided to get the November wordplay. I probably will not be doing the rest of these because it doesn't matter. I only wanted this because it's November and it's my birthday month. And it's fall. Fall is my favorite season. So, and Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday while we're at it. Let's just throw it all out there. So, yeah, fall is literally my time of year. Yeah, and I already know what I'm gonna change a lot on this too. I don't eat cranberries, and I don't eat cranberry sauce. Disgusting. Don't care if you judge me on that. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna change cranberries to though. So if you have suggestions on that, help me out. I'm not sure what to change cranberries to. Bounty, I'm thinking about recharting the family. I Bounty just like that does nothing for me, like, personally. So I'm thinking I'm gonna change this to family. 1621, I'm not sure if I'm gonna change it to 2018 or not, just like as a signature, like this is the year I stitched it. I'm not sure. I might leave this because it's historic, like a historic fact and everything. And then what else did I say I was gonna change? Indian, I'm not sure. Somebody help me out. Is this like Indian corn? Like that's one thing? Or is it Indian and then corn? Somebody help me out. If it's Indian corn, I'll probably just leave it. Cause maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But somebody help me out with that. Is it Indian corn or is it Indian and then corn? That would be helpful to know. And then pumpkin pie. No, 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 no. No, disgusting. Just no. This will be changed to sweet potato. So, yeah. I already know the things that I'm going to change in this because it's not completely personalized yet. So, that's going to have a lot of changes. I'm not sure if I'm going to start it in November or not. I have some extra light mocha Belfast linen. So I have fabric and I have plenty of it. I have enough space. I'm not sure what some of those words are going to get changed to. And then I also got from Michelle this cross stitch gold. This is issue 24. Yeah, issue 24. I can't tell what month it is or anything. Yeah, okay, so Cross Stitch Gold, issue 24, and literally bought this for the ballet dancers. So for those of you who don't know, okay, once a dancer, always a dancer. But when I was in high school, I danced at a studio, like full time. So dance is in my heart, especially ballet. So I'm going to stitch this, and this is definitely going to have skin conversions. They will not all be white at all. Definitely not. There will probably only be like one white girl on there if you just want me to be honest. I will probably leave either this one. Actually, it'll probably be this one that I leave white, and then I'll probably change the other ones. I don't know. Maybe I'll do 2 and 2. But at least one of them will be like my skin tone, and then another one will be like a light skin tone. So yeah, that's literally the only reason I wanted this, which works because when I got it, I was like, well, let me look at the other patterns, and it's literally the only thing that I want to stitch out of that. So, yeah, so maybe I'll pass the stash on that when I'm done. That was it. That's all the stuff that I'm going to show that I've gotten. That's all I've gotten in the past week because I got that from my parents' house when I went. So now I'm just going to do like some super quick shout outs. And by super quick shout outs, I literally mean I'm just going to tell you guys the floss tubes that I watch. Like I said, I just got started watching Flosstubes, and I actually just got started watching Flosstube. No, I started in May. I did. I started in May. And the first one I watched was Priscilla and Chelsea. So glad that was my first one. So glad. I love them. So Priscilla and Chelsea were the first ones I watched. And then I think after that, I found myself at Primitive Stitcher, Suzette. And then from there, I found Michelle Bindi Stitchy, which, like, not gonna lie, changed my life. I love Michelle. So, and not that I don't love everyone else, so, but you know, you guys know how it is. Like, there's always, like, those 1 or 2 people that, like, you really, really vibe with. Michelle is that person for me. And then from there, Michelle talks about so many people all the time, that I literally started keeping a list when she would mention people. and I haven't gone through. Every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, I feel like starting a new floss tube, and I'll pick somebody off of that list. But I'm nowhere near. I think I've only watched like 2 off of that list, maybe. So yeah, from Michelle, I found pretty much everyone else. So McKenna, Stitching in Sequins, Letitia, Crafty Curator, Diana, It is Kismet, Linda Joe, Pretty Southern, Amy from Creativity by Gidge. Who else? Oh, Ginger Gerald, Caroline, Off the Grid Needle Arts. Yeah. And that is literally everybody that I watch right now. I'm thinking that the next people I'm going to start, maybe, haven't decided yet. And they will get watched eventually, I'm not sure if they'll be next. But I'm thinking about starting Just Keep Stitching with Pam and Steph next. So we'll see. I'm trying to start floss tubes at a much slower rate than the rate that I started knitting podcast, because I haven't been watching a ton of my knitting podcasts. Like, I'm still subscribed to them all, but it's still really overwhelming. So I'm just trying not to start a bajillion floss tubes because I know I won't have time for them all. But yeah. So those are all the people I watch. Shout outs to all of you because you guys keep me spending my money and stitching, which is what it's about. And I love all of those people. So yeah, those are shout outs. The only other thing I'm going to mention is that at some point on this channel, there will be craft with me. So because I have both stitching and knitting, spinning content, instead of doing just like, hey, I'm going to have stitch with me's, that's very specific. Plus it'll be easier to have one title so that you guys know, like, hey, this is not a floss tube and it's not a podcast. It's something different. And I don't have to say, this is stitch with me, and this is knit with me, and this is spin with me. Like, it's just going to be a craft with me. And it'll be whatever craft I feel like filming that day. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. I have no idea when that'll start. Honestly, I'm about to try to convince myself to sit down and edit a knitting podcast that I recorded a month ago. You guys deserve to see that. So hopefully, by the time that this is up, that's already on this channel. Yeah, so let's see if I can edit 2 videos in one day. Probably not. Honestly, I'll be lucky if I edit anything, because I want to go stitch. So on that note, I'm going to leave you guys to your stitching or your knitting or whatever you're doing at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. I have a floss tube now, guys. At least I will whenever this is on YouTube. Alright, guys. I will see you at some point in the future. Bye.